Hey guys, I thought like making a video about my meet and greet would kind of make it easier for you to understand where I'm coming from, because it's hard for me to say that it was the worst day of my life and then for you guys not to judge that. So basically, I need to start off by saying that like I am so grateful that I got the opportunity to meet him, because I know that millions of people would do anything to meet him, and I know I am so grateful that I actually got that chance, and that nothing can take that away from me. But like what happened to me, it's very hard because I spent 4 years picturing this day in my head, and we all do that. You picture this perfect day that you finally meet Justin, and then for that to be ruined for me, it's really hard. So basically, we were standing in the meet and greet line. They pulled us aside and said there was like something wrong with our meet and greet thing, so they had us stand there. When we finally got up to like the curtain where Justin is behind, the security guards were screaming at us. Like, it was scary how physical they get. They yank you and pull. The security guard was like, he yelled at me and my friend because it was just us two. He was like, get over here, and he like shoved us behind the curtain. I mean, like, I walked up to the curtain at first because I wanted to see if Justin was there. So like I opened up the curtain and he was standing there, and for that like split second was the best second of the entire meet and greet, because it was like the first second that I saw him like in real life. He's standing there, he's a real person. Like, so yeah, I opened up the curtain and I'm like looking because the security guard was busy, and I kind of like wanted to see if he was there, and he was. I barely even got a chance to see what he was wearing. There were already 4 girls standing next to him, and the security guard's yelling at us to go up, and now we have to just stand on the outsides of it, so there's like girls in between. So I walk up to the side of this one girl to be in the picture, and she took her foot and stepped in front of me. So she was covering like my entire body and my face, and I wasn't just gonna stand there and like let her block me up from being in the picture. Like, you get one picture and then you're done and that's it. And I wasn't just not gonna be in it just because she's stepping in front of me. So I like stepped back like out around her. He's like hugging him and trying to push me out of the picture, and so I was gonna like cry right there. And then Justin, he was like, girls, come on, calm down. And I think at that point I was like, oh my gosh, like here I am, like one of the girls that he's like annoyed with. And I know like girls do that all the time probably, but I just hate that like my one experience, like I get 5 seconds with him in my entire life, 5 seconds to see like what he's really like. And like, even though Justin looked like annoyed at us, which he had every right to, this girl was creating a scene. She's like, the meet and greets are supposed to go really fast and they have to get through like a lot of people. So he has the right to be annoyed. I mean, this girl's pushing and it's causing like a distraction. I mean, Fredo, I believe, walked out of the room when we were in there for a picture because he was like, this is ridiculous. This girl's like, she's pushing and it's messing things up the way that it's supposed to go. Like, everything's really fast paced. But then like as we were leaving, this was like my favorite part. I was like, oh my gosh, like I haven't touched Justin like at all. And I mean, like, I know that sounds weird, but like that's what I wanted. I wanted to hug him. Like, I want to feel like that connection that other people get to feel all the time, and that other people come back from meet and greets and talk about. And that's what I wanted more than anything. And like, so then I was like reaching for him like on my way out, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like security's pulling us out, and I'm like, I need to get this like hug. I need to get it. So I'm like reaching for him, and he grabbed my hand and pulled on it a couple times like towards himself, and I was like, oh my gosh, like in the moment I was just like, I want to say something to him, but you know, it's really fast, so they're pulling us out. But then later on I was like he was trying to, I feel like he was trying to like make me feel better or something. Like, he probably knew that this girl shoved, because when she shoved me, she kind of like pushed him, and that's really rude. So like he just reached for me to kind of like make me feel a little better for the whole thing, I guess. So that made me happy. So if you're a believer, you understand where I'm coming from when I say that meeting Justin is something that like you picture in your mind to be the best day of your life. You finally get the chance to see him in person and see kind of like what he's like, see him smile, like see this kid that you've looked up to for so long. It's like the only thing I've dreamt of for the last 4 years. And Like, even standing in the meet and greet line, I'm standing there like, oh my gosh, like, this is happening. I'm finally, like, getting this chance for it to end up being the worst day of my life. I just, it makes me so emotional. It's hard for me to even talk about it. All I was really hoping for was to hug him and tell him, like, I love you, and give him this letter that I wrote, and I don't know if he's actually going to read it. And that's all I wanted. I understand, like, meet and greets are very fast, and I was expecting that, and I was prepared for that. From the whole thing, it was like he was annoyed with us, and that's you picture running up to him, hugging him, and then taking a picture and leaving. When I see Justin happy, I'm happy. It just, something about it. If I see him smiling, it makes me happy. It makes me feel good. And when I saw him and he didn't smile once, it made me devastated. Like, this guy that I thought to be so happy isn't smiling at all. And it's hard because I only get to see those 15 seconds. I can't get rid of them because they're the only 15 seconds I have of him. And so it's hard for me to, like, be happy about it and to enjoy that when the 15 seconds I got with him, he didn't smile at all, and he was annoyed with us because of this girl. It's hard for me to understand why she would do something like that when she was already right next to him. I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's not fair, I wasn't next to him. That didn't matter to me. It's that she thought that it was perfectly okay to shove someone else out of the picture. What I don't want is for people to get me wrong and think that, like, for some reason I'm mad at Justin or, like, upset with him, because I'm not. It's hard because the time that I got with him, he didn't seem happy. And I picture Justin as this happy kid, this, like, you know, loves his family, Christian, like, amazing guy, that I had always wanted to meet. And then when I get there, it just so happens that it's a day that he's, you know, tired and just, you know, not his best day. So that was a bummer for me, that the one time that I get with him, he's not, like, the smiling, the kid that, like, I really, really wanted to meet. Like, that's not something I would ever even think of doing, like, trying to shove someone else out of a picture, like a meet and greet. Like, that's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for most people. And I would never, the thought wouldn't even cross my mind to try to ruin it like that for someone. So I'm just disappointed that it just so happened that the one meet and greet I go to is not a day where he's, like, happy and smiling, you know. And then I was, like, crying the entire way home because I'm like, this, you get 5 seconds with him, and I can't stop replaying that 5 seconds in my head. And I don't know if I made it sound as bad as it felt to me while I was there. Like, I left the meet and greet. People, you see, like, coming out crying tears of joy, but I was crying hysterically. Like, this girl just completely ruined it for me. She tried to shove me out of the picture, looked at me like I was nothing, and it just hurt. If you're a fan of Justin, you understand how much we love going to his concerts and, like, partying, and they're so much fun. His Bieber concerts are the best. Well, after the meet and greet, after we walked, like, back upstairs, I had absolutely no desire to go to the concert whatsoever. And that's saying a lot. I'm, like, devastated. I'm not complaining that I met Justin and it didn't go the way that I wanted it to. I'm devastated. She ruined the experience for me. Like, this something that I've wanted for so long. Like, so long. When you think about it, that's all of high school. I spent 4 years, like, loving him and buying, like, I've probably spent couple $1,000s on him, like, in the last 4 years, and I just, to have my one experience with him completely destroyed because of this one girl. Like, I'm not even mad at Justin. It's not that he was, like, tired during it or, like, not into it. It's this girl that ruined the experience for me, and it's hard for me to get over that. So I hope you guys kind of understand where I'm coming from.